we have understood what is meant by the specific energy, and then what are the different specific energy levels of different sources that are available. And then we have discussed what is series connection, what happens in a series connection of batteries, and what happens in parallel connection of batteries. We have understood that in series connection of batteries, the total voltage will be added up, and in parallel connections, the current will be added up. So these are what we have discussed in the previous class. And now in this class, we are going to discuss the basic components of the battery. Okay. So now we are going ahead with the basic components of a battery. The battery consists of electrodes, electrolyte, separator, and a container. So if you understand here, you can observe that there is a positive electrode and we have a negative electrode. There are two electrodes, and you have to understand that in most of the cases, the positive electrode is called as an anode. So please remember that I am using the word positive electrode in most of the cases is called as anode, but I am not saying that positive electrode is anode. Okay, you can understand after 20 minutes of this class, you'll understand why a positive electrode is not always anode. So here I will be referring the terms as positive electrode and negative electrode only, rather than anode and cathode. Okay, right. So now we have two electrodes. One is a positive electrode and another one is a negative electrode. And then we have electrolyte, and then we have a separator. Okay. Now coming to the main objective of the negative electrode, the objective of using a negative electrode is that it releases electrons. Please remember that negative electrode releases electrons during discharge, and the positive electrode attracts or receives electrons. I am repeating the statement. The negative electrode releases electrons during discharge, and the positive electrode collects the electrons during discharge. So discharge is the actual operation when we use the battery. Suppose if we are running an electric vehicle, then the battery is in discharge. The battery is in discharge cycle. When the battery is in discharge cycle, the negative electrode releases electrons and it is given to the motor, and from the motor electrons are received by the positive electrode. And internally, the transfer of electrons takes place from the positive electrode through the separator and to the negative electrode. So this you have to understand. Externally, the electrons move from negative electrode to the positive electrode, and internally the electrons move from positive to the negative electrode. And in the next slides, we are going to see how these electrons are released from the chemical reactions. Okay, am I clear till now? Am I clear? Am I clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have to understand. You have to understand basically that the positive electrode is used for reception of electrons, and negative electrode is used for the release of electrons. Okay, and electrolyte creates an environment. You cannot say the electrolyte either releases or attracts the electrons, but electrolyte makes the ionization happen inside. So in the next slides, I'll make it clear. So ionization happens, or ionization takes place because of the electrolyte. Electrolyte maybe it may be a fluid, or it may be a solid, or it may be a gel. And then you have a container. These containers, there are many types of containers wherein you use tin or other materials with isolation or insulation. Okay, so here you can observe that this is the symbol of a battery or a voltage source, DC voltage source. A larger line indicates positive, and a lower line indicates negative.
Sir,
And yes, someone called me.
Sir, did you share the screen, sir? It's not visible.
Screen is not visible, sir.
Screen is not visible.
Screen is not visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Once again, I'll share it. Okay, I think I have not shared this complete window. Now is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what was visible till now?
You were teaching, sir. We could see you.
Teaching.
Oh, that's all. Okay. Then again, I'll repeat this once again. Okay, right. So here, what I have discussed is, this is the positive electrode. Okay, we have electrodes, and then we have electrolyte, and we have a separator in a battery. Now, positive electrode attracts the electrons, and negative electrode releases the electrons. So when the battery is in discharge cycle, the negative electrode releases electrons and the positive electrode receives the electrons. Am I clear? So negative electrode releases electrons and a positive electrode releases the receives the electrons. And internally, the positive inside this, what happens is ionization happens. So these electrons which are received by the positive electrode are driven to the negative electrode. So internally, the direction during discharge happens for plus to minus electrodes, and externally it happens from minus to plus electrodes. I mean negative to positive electrodes. And here electrolyte, this is electrolyte. Electrolyte may be of fluid or liquid, solid or gel. And this generally provides ionization. And separator is generally used in order to avoid open circuit discharges. That means when the battery is not being used, okay, when you are not using the battery, this transfer of electrons from positive to negative should not happen. If positive to negative transfer of electrons happens internally, then this battery is going to die out soon. Okay, you cannot use the battery for longer period. So the separator not only avoids, so separator acts like a partial conductor, or you can say selective conductor. So sometimes it allows the electrons, sometimes it will stop. When it will stop, it stops whenever the battery is not in use. That means when the battery is in open circuit means plus and minus are not connected to a load. Okay, when these two are not connected, then this works like a non-conductor. When these two are connected by a load, then this acts like a conductor. So that means this permeates, or this permits the transfer of electrons or ionization that happen internally. Am I clear till now? Any doubts? Yeah, I inform everyone that this you should understand this very clearly. If you have any doubts, please let me know, because from here onwards we are going to study 5 more batteries: lead acid battery, okay, nickel metal hydride battery, lithium ion battery, okay, and zinc air battery. And all the battery operations are similar. Okay, in all these batteries, the negative electrode releases the electrons and the positive electrode receives the electrons. So if you understand this, you can easily understand the chemical reactions, and also you can remember the chemical reactions very easily. So from now onwards, yeah.
Sir,
Anyone? Yeah, yes.
sir, what is the material in between the positive electrode and negative?
Yeah, these are polymers. I mean, separators are polymers. Okay, these are porous materials. Polymer means they have bigger molecules. Bigger molecules means they act like porous. Okay, so these are polymers generally. And electrolyte generally, it may be an alkaline or it may be an acidic material. Okay, for each battery it is different. For lead acid battery, it is acid, H2SO4. Okay, for alkaline, it will be hydroxides. Right, for each battery it is different. Okay, but whatever you have to remember here is the negative electrode releases the electrons and a positive electrode accepts the electrons. Okay, and internally electrolyte provides the path for ionization or transfer of electrons from plus to minus. So here ionization happens, and separator will work like a selective conductor. Okay, selective conductor in the sense, when the battery is in use, it transfers the electrons. When the battery is open circuited like this, it is not in use. When the battery is not in use, it will not conduct. So that is the main function of the separator. Okay, with this, we'll clearly understand what is an anode and cathode now, or what is a negative electrode and a positive electrode now. If you don't have any doubts, I'll go to the next slide. Okay, now positive electrode. We have seen positive electrode. So if you read the statement in books, it will be defined like this: the positive electrode is an oxide or sulfide or some other compound that is capable of being reduced during cell discharge. So you have to understand that the positive electrode reduces during cell discharge. So please remember that positive electrode reduces during cell discharge. So here reduces means what happens is, at the positive electrode, generally the oxide material, generally this will be lead oxide. Okay, this lead oxide will form, okay, lead SO4. So this process is called as reduction. Okay, so the process of splitting or the process of this lead oxide combining with other materials is called as reduction. So reduction happens in the lead oxide material. Okay, because it reacts with the sulfuric acid. And so you have to remember that in a positive electrode, reduction happens. Reduction means this PbO2 reacts with other material and it deforms. Okay. Similarly, the same thing happens at nickel hydroxide also. Okay, nickel hydroxide material also reduces at its positive electrode. So this you have to remember. At positive electrode, reduction happens. Okay, during discharge, and at the negative electrode, oxidation happens. So suppose if you have lead, by the end of the reaction, it becomes lead oxide, and cadmium may form cadmium oxides. So if you read the statement, the negative electrode is a metal or an alloy that is capable of being oxide during the cell discharge. So that means during a cell discharge, okay, during a cell discharge, the metal will be slowly turning into metal oxide. Okay, and this is called as oxidation. Here oxidation happens at negative electrode during discharge. That means the lead oxide becomes the lead metal becomes lead oxide, and in this process it will be releasing the electrons. This we'll see very clearly with the help of equations. And at the positive electrode, this lead oxide will be forming lead SO4s. So this lead sulfates. So this we'll see from the equation. So this process is called as reduction. So a negative electrode, at negative electrode, oxidation happens, and at positive electrode, reduction happens. Is this clear? Any doubts? Please ask me if you have any doubts. I'll repeat it, because once this is completed, I'll not repeat this process. Simply in terms of chemical reactions, I'll explain them. Okay. So please try to understand this clearly. Anyhow, by the end of the day, I'll be sharing this presentation. Please read it. Please try to understand. Okay. Right. Next. So at a positive electrode, reduction happens, and at negative electrode, oxidation happens. Negative electrode, oxidation happens, and during this oxidation, negative electrode releases electrons. Okay. So generally, if you use a lead acid battery, lead peroxide is used as positive electrode, and if you use the other battery, nickel hydride batteries, then you use nickel oxyhydroxide as the electrode, positive electrode. And negative electrode, generally we use lead and cadmium as the negative electrodes. Okay. Right. Now, if you remember yesterday's class, in a AA size battery, which we use in our remotes and other applications, toy cars, etc., what was the positive electrode? I want anyone to answer. In yesterday's class, we have discussed a AA battery, which is a single-use battery, right? Primary battery. So generally, you have to remember that single-use batteries or one-time use batteries are called as primary batteries, and rechargeable batteries are called as secondary batteries. Okay. So in a AA size battery, can you tell me what is the positive electrode? Ajay.
Sir, anode.
Pardon?
Anode, sir.
Anode. Ah, that's what. What is anode? I'm asking you, what is the anode?
It is a positive charge.
No, I'm asking what material is used as anode. What material is used as anode? Yeah, now tell me. What is anode? I told you yesterday.
Yes, sir.
The carbon rod.
Manganese oxide.
Carbon rod is the anode, and a negative plate, okay, it is used as the cathode.
Cathode.
Okay. So
Okay,
positive plate. So this carbon rod acts like a anode.
Anode.
Negative metal plate, which is connected to this zinc casing. This acts as the negative
Cathode.
electrode. Okay, cathode.
Okay.
Right. Now we'll go back to our presentation. Right. So here now tell me what is the battery capacity of your mobile phone? I want everyone to type a chat box. In the chat box, please write what is the battery capacity of your mobile phone. I want everyone to type here in the chat box what is the battery capacity of your mobile phone. Please type there. Battery capacity. What is the battery capacity of your mobile phone? Yeah, please type your capacities.
3000 milliampere.
No, don't say the answer. Okay, don't say the answer. Please type it. That's all. Yeah. So battery capacity means ampere hours. Ampere hours. 1 ampere hour is equal to 3600 coulombs. Okay, we'll see that anyhow, right? Very good. I think everyone understood that battery capacity means it is in ampere hours. So here for your mobile, it will be in milliampere hours. Okay, very good. Right. Okay. Right. Then I assume that you know everything now. Right. Okay. Now let us go back to our presentation. Now we have finished what is a positive electrode, negative electrode. Positive electrode reduction happens and negative electrode oxidation happens during discharge. We are not talking about charging. We are talking about discharge. That means the actual use of the battery. Okay. Now let us see the differences between anode and cathode. See, till now I've explained this as a positive electrode, this as a negative electrode. I did not say that positive electrode is anode and negative electrode is cathode. But now I'm saying that earlier also I said this. In most of the cases, positive electrode is anode, and in most of the cases, negative electrode is cathode. Okay, is that clear? Sometimes if you observe the galvanic cells means the primary cells. In that cases, very few, in some galvanic cells, positive electrode becomes a cathode and negative electrode becomes an anode. So that is why I'm not using the word anode and cathode. Rather, I would be using positive electrode and negative electrode. Now we'll try to understand what is the difference between anode and cathode. So now anode is the electrode where electricity moves into. So what does it mean? Electricity moves into means electrons are received. In an anode, electrons are received, and cathode, electrons are relieved out or flow out. So negative, mostly cathodes are negative. Okay, and here anode is usually the positive side. Most of the cases anode is positive, that means positive electrode, and in most of the cases cathode is negative electrode, and it acts as an electric donor. See, here you must be very cautious. What is the word he is using? He is using that donor. So anode is electron donor and cathode is electron acceptor. Okay, so but if you observe this will be contradicting with this electron donor. How can you say that cathode is an electron acceptor? It is releasing out. Yes, can you answer this?
When will be rechargeable, it will be the donor. It acts as donor.
Very good, very good, very good. You have to understand that this action, the anode is electrode when electricity moves into, and cathode is electrode when electricity goes out. This happens during discharge only. Okay, these two statements happen during discharge. But during charge, what happens? During charging, it acts like an electric donor, and during charging, the cathode acts as an acceptor. So you have to understand that whatever reactions happen during discharge will reverse during charging. Okay, are you understanding what I'm saying? What I mean to say is during discharge, anode, what is happening to anode? Anode is receiving the electrons. During charging, anode relieves the electrons, or anode gives out the electrons. Am I clear? Am I clear to everyone? Am I clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Sir, once again.
Okay. Okay. What I mean to say is, I think it's better if I use the Jamboard for this part. Still, people are joining. I'm very sorry to say that. I request or I instruct everyone to join at the right time, because it creates a lot of problem in the class. Okay. Now, suppose let us take a cell. Let us take a battery. Okay. So here I'll draw. This is positive electrode and this is negative electrode. Okay. This is positive and this is negative. Okay. So here we are having a bulb. Okay. So that means this is discharging. So during discharge, what happens is the electrons move in this direction. Okay. Electrons move from the negative electrode to the positive electrode. So, and internally, the electrons will be moving like this. Okay. Internally, generally, here we have electrolyte. So this happens during discharge. Okay. I think you understood. This happens during discharge. So during discharge, the electrons are released from the cathode, negative electrode, and they are received by the anode. This happens during discharge. Okay. And during this process, at the positive electrode, reduction happens, and at the negative electrode, oxidation happens. Okay. But if you want to understand during charging, so during charging, the reversal happens. So what happens during charging? So during charging, if this is positive and this is negative, during charging, what happens is we'll connect it to the source. Okay, we'll connect it to the source. Okay, we are connecting this to the source. Okay, so when we connect it to the source, the reversal happens. Reversal means the electrons are released from here, okay, and the electrons are deposited at the cathode. So here actually this is discharging and this is charging. Okay, now did you understand? Now is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So during discharge, the electrons move from negative electrode to the positive electrode, and during charging, the electrons move from the positive electrode to the negative electrode. So now you have to understand that during discharging and charging, whatever chemical reactions you get during discharge, that becomes yes, I am getting some okay. During discharge, whatever chemical reactions happen, those chemical reactions will be reversing during charging. So this is what you have to understand. Am I clear to everyone? Yeah, am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Sir.
So
Yes, sir.
these chemical reactions, whatever happened during discharge, they will be reversing during charging. Okay. So now you have to understand that at the anode and the cathode, these are the differences. In an electrolytic cell, oxidation reaction takes place at the anode. Okay. See, this happens at the anode and this happens at the cathode. Okay. So now you have to understand that the anode and cathode operations, the anode and cathode are classified based on the oxidation and the reduction reactions. Okay, but here this is not an electrolytic cell. Rechargeable cell is different. Okay, I told you in galvanic cell these processes will be reversing. Okay, so that is why you have to understand that in electrolytic cells, this anode then becomes a negative electrode and the cathode becomes a positive electrode when these reactions happen. Okay, but you need not see here. You can see in galvanic cells an anode can be a cathode, and in galvanic cell cathode can be an anode. So these two statements you have to remember. Okay, but for our operation these are all not required. What I mean to say is you also try to adopt the words positive electrode and negative electrode, or else you will be getting confused. Okay, right.
Can you explain once more?
Yeah. Okay, right. So what you want me to explain? See, this oxidation, okay, this oxidation process takes place at the anode in an electrolytic cell. Okay, but what we discussed earlier, so here if you observe in our presentation, what did we observe at the positive electrode? What is happening at positive electrode? Reduction is happening. Okay, reduction. Yeah. And at the negative electrode, oxidation is happening. Okay.
Yes,
At the positive electrode, oxidation is happening here. At negative electrode, reduction is happening. This is reverse. Okay, so this you have to understand, right? This happens in the electrolytic cells, not in the rechargeable cell which we are discussing. Okay, see what I mean to say is this is with respect to rechargeable bodies, rechargeable cells, and this is with respect to single-use batteries. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what I mean to say is this is applicable to primary batteries and this is applicable to secondary batteries. So you don't go through this slide. Okay, you prefer only this slide. Okay, because in all the cases we'll be observing that at positive electrode reduction happens and at negative electrode oxidation is going to happen. We are going to see that in rechargeable batteries. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this statement is true. This statement is true during charging. Okay, you have to remember that this statement is true during charging, and this statement is true during charging. And here you have to understand that this statement is true during discharge, and this statement is true during discharge. So that is why don't get confused. You follow any one convention. You follow only this. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when I explain the operation of a lead acid battery, there you can clearly understand what is reduction and oxidation. Even though till now you are not able to follow that, don't worry. When I discuss this lead acid battery, you can clearly understand that. Okay, now components of a battery cell. We have already discussed the negative electrode and the positive electrode. Now electrolyte. So what is the function of an electrolyte? Electrolyte is the medium that permits ionic conduction. I told you, ionic conduction is permitted by the electrode between the positive and negative electrodes of the cell. The electrolyte must have high and selective conductivity for the ions. So here the electrolyte separator is also acts like a selective conductivity, and an electrolyte also acts as a selective conductor where it permits the ions only during discharge or during charging. But when the battery is open, you can see when the battery is open, but it must not be a conductor for electrons in order to avoid self-discharge. What is meant by self-discharge of a battery? I want anyone to answer this question. What is meant by self-discharge of a battery?
When the battery is in use.
Pardon?
When the battery is in use.
No. Self-discharge means when the battery is open, when the battery is not in use, when the battery is open circuited, or when the battery is not in use, then also discharge happens. Okay. So here what this means is when the battery is not being used, it should not discharge. So that means it must be a non-conductor when the battery is not in use. When it is when the electrolyte acts as a non-conductor, self-discharge will not happen. Self-discharge means when the battery is not in use, and that means the battery is open circuited, it should not discharge. Okay, right. And
we need to remove negative terminal for that.
No, not required. It should not be switched on, turned on. That's all.
Okay. In cars we used to do, no sir.
Yeah, generally, yes, exactly. Negative terminal, if you remove it, then what happens is this self-discharge will decrease. Yeah. Okay, not internally in the battery, but as it is connected to the cables. Okay, but even then you have self-discharge. Even though the negative terminal is removed, you will have self-discharge, but it is very, very small. It is very minute. Okay, if it is connected to the terminals, it will be larger. Right. The electrolyte may be a liquid or a gel or a solid material. Okay, so then separator. Okay, yes, and I forgot to tell you that electrolyte can be an acidic or alkaline. If you use lead acid battery, we use H2SO4. If you use nickel metal hydride battery, okay, then here, in nickel metal hydride also we use oxides, metal oxides. Okay, and here hydroxide is used. Okay, in nickel metal hydride, hydroxide solution is used. And lithium ion battery, okay, in lithium ion battery we will be using a gel type electrolyte, right? And lithium polymer battery we use solid electrolyte. Okay, so these are the different types of electrolytes. Generally in acids we can use lead acid battery. In lead acid battery we use acids. Nickel cadmium we use hydroxide liquid electrolytes. And lithium ions we use gel type electrolyte, and in lithium polymer we use solid electrolytes. So an electrolyte may be a liquid or a gel or a solid electrolyte. Right, now tell me, we are having packed lead acid batteries. What type of electrolyte is used in packed maintenance free lead acid batteries? Yes? No answer. Okay. In the olden lead acid batteries, we used to have liquid H2SO4, but now we are getting completely packed lead acid batteries in which we are getting a gel type H2SO4, wherein the gel cannot be leaked out. Okay, so that is called as a packed or maintenance free H2SO4. So in such batteries, we need not fill distilled water. But whereas in the conventional lead acid batteries in the olden days, or even now in some inverters, where maintenance, it is not maintenance free, we have to add some distilled water. So that is a lead acid battery which requires maintenance. But a packed or sealed lead acid battery has a gel which is of H2SO4. You need not fill in oxygen. You need not fill distilled water. Okay, you'll understand why we require you will understand why we require water in lead acid batteries in the next slide. Okay, am I clear till now?
Yes, sir.
So electrolyte may be acidic in nature or alkaline in nature, right? And in lead acid battery we use H2SO4, and nickel metal hydride batteries we use hydroxides. And then there are many types of electrolytes. Then separator. So separator is an insulating material which separates the electrodes. It will also act like a selective conductor in order to separate both the electrodes. So generally we use polymers. So polymer is a larger molecule element like rubber, etc. So such polymer materials, it is not, we don't use rubber in battery, but rubber is a polymer. Similar, we have synthetic polymers. We are using synthetic polymers. That means artificially created polymers, which can withstand heat. Okay, and they are used in order to transfer the electrons from one side to other side during operation, and they'll stop when they are not operating. So here, if you study this, the separator is the electrically insulating layer of material that physically separates electrodes of opposite polarity. Separate must be permeable to the ions of the electrolyte and may also have the function of storing or immobilizing the electrolyte. Immobilizing means stopping the electrodes. Okay, we stop the electrolyte, flowing continuously. So these are the components of the battery. So you have to understand that there are 4 components of a battery. So those 4 components are electrolytes, positive electrolyte, negative electrolyte, positive electrode, negative electrode, electrolyte, and then separator. Okay, is this clear? Now, before this slide, we'll do one thing. Yeah, okay, we'll finish this, then, okay, right. Okay, now we are going to discuss different types of batteries that are used in electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles. The first one, as we discussed earlier, that is lead acid battery. So generally you will find the lead acid batteries in cars, in two-wheelers, okay, in inverters. In most of the applications, even now, today, we are using lead acid battery. So lead acid battery is used for ignition purposes in the two-wheelers and the four-wheelers. And in inverters, it is used to store the DC supply. Okay. And then the second type is the nickel cadmium battery. Okay. So nickel cadmium battery, you will have such type of batteries. Okay. You have cylindrical shaped batteries, and you also have plate type batteries also, sealed packed batteries also. So these batteries were used in the cameras, in mobile phones. In mobile phones, you will not have this shape. Okay, you will have a sealed battery. But now they are not using nickel cadmium batteries. The first generation mobile phones, they started using this nickel cadmium, but now they are not using nickel cadmium batteries. And then we have nickel metal hydride batteries. So nickel metal hydride batteries are also cylindrical in shape. You can observe that there are multiple cylinders. Okay, negative electrode, positive electrode, separator, and again negative electrode and positive electrode. Then you have separator. So you have multiple cells inside a nickel metal hydride battery. Sometimes you will also have the cells like this: one cell here, second cell here, third cell here, fourth cell here, fifth cell here. So like this also in series, we can find some nickel metal hydride batteries also. Am I clear? Am I audible to everyone? Are you observing this slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. So we are now discussing the batteries which are exclusively used in electric vehicles. Okay. Right. Next one is lithium ion battery. And please remember, lithium ion battery is the most, frequently used battery in most of the applications. Example, mobile phones, cameras, and electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles. So now currently, lithium ion batteries are being used in large scale. Okay, so lithium ion battery, a simple ion battery, this can be a mobile battery. Okay, so these batteries can also be manufactured in the form of a cylindrical battery. We have seen yesterday, I'll show you that video also soon after this. We have seen lithium ion batteries in a Tesla car which are of the form of cylinder. Okay, all such batteries are connected in series and parallel combinations. So lithium ion battery is the most popular battery, and we are using them mostly in electric vehicles and mobile phones and also in cameras. And then we also have lithium polymer batteries. Lithium polymer is one generation, older than the lithium ion batteries. Earlier to lithium ion batteries, we were using lithium polymer batteries. So we were mostly using them in batteries and electric vehicles also. Okay, and then sodium sulfur battery. Sodium sulfur batteries are the latest batteries which are like this. Okay, and these are very few. This is under research, and very few batteries you can observe in the electric vehicles. Okay, they are very less in number. And then zinc air batteries. Zinc air batteries and aluminum air batteries are called as metal air batteries. So these batteries are also under research. Okay, so these two batteries are in research, but the extensively more popularly being used battery is the lithium ion battery. In addition to this, we are also using lead acid battery, which is the first generation rechargeable battery. In some vehicles, we are using nickel cadmium, nickel metal hydride, and also lithium polymer batteries. So these are the batteries which we are using in electric vehicles. Okay, right? Okay, right. Now we'll see the specific energy of the batteries of different batteries. So now if you observe lead acid battery, okay, theoretically it is 108, but practically when you come to a lead acid battery, you can use it is very less, 50 watt hours per kg. 50 watt hours per kg means what? For 1 kg weight of the battery, if you have a battery of 1 kg, it can give out only 50 watt hours. Okay, 50 watt hours only can be delivered by a 1 kg battery. Okay, similarly nickel cadmium 20 to 30, it is still less. Nickel zinc 90, it's an improvement. Nickel iron 60, zinc chlorine 90, zinc silver zinc 100, sodium sulfur 150 to 300, aluminum air 300. Now I purposefully did not keep lithium ion. Can you guess what will be the specific energy of lithium ion? Approximately. What is the practical specific energy of lithium ion battery? Just
70. 70.
yeah, 70. Okay, any other answers? Lithium ion battery. So now the recent lithium ion batteries are supposed to get a practical watt hour of 270 watt hours per kg, but it varies. If you find the old generation batteries, some may have 100, but now you can say somewhere around 100 to 300. Okay, the lithium ions specific energy will be somewhere around 100 to 300 watt hours per kg. That means for 1 kg of a lithium ion battery, it can give somewhere around 100 to 300 watt hours. So that is why we are using lithium ion batteries in our electric vehicles. Okay, so out of this, which is the least one? Out of all this, which is the least one?
Nickel cadmium.
Yeah, nickel cadmium is least. Then comes the lead acid battery. Okay, right. Now, yeah, we will complete this. Okay, right. Okay. So now we are going to understand a lead acid battery. Okay, so what is a lead acid battery? So lead acid battery, the battery cell operation consists of a cell discharge operation where the energy is supplied from the battery to the electric motor. So this is what you have to understand. During discharge, what happens? The battery supplies the motor. Okay, and during charging, what happens? The energy is supplied to the battery to store it in the battery. So during discharge, the battery supplies energy to the motor, and during charging, the battery is connected to the source in order to get it charged or to store it in the form of DC supply. Okay, now coming to a lead acid battery, lead acid batteries have been the most popular choice of the batteries. Why? Do you know the reason why lead acid batteries are extensively used? I want you to answer why lead acid batteries are being extensively used.
Because it is rechargeable.
Rechargeable. Huh?
Capacity.
Because it is cheap, sir.
Very good, Ravinder. It is really cheap. That is one. And what are the other? Any others can answer this? Okay, so lead acid battery is not only cheaper, materials. You can easily find sulfuric acid. You can easily find lead. You can easily create lead oxide. So all these materials are readily available. You yourself can go to the market, purchase them, and you yourself can make a lead acid battery. So that is the easiness which is available with the lead acid batteries. So that is why they are easy to manufacture. Their cost is less and manufacturing capacity is very high. That means a lot of production can happen with lead acid batteries because of the availability of the materials. Okay, all the materials are available in India and you can manufacture them here itself. So that is the advantage with the lead acid batteries. Okay, so lead acid batteries can be designed to be high powered and are inexpensive, safe and reliable. A recycling infrastructure is in place. Recycling, yeah, you can if your inverter batteries are dead, then you can give back, you can sell them off and buy a new one because the container can be used for once again for the battery. Then a low specific energy, but still it has some disadvantages, like it has a low specific energy, which we have seen. Poor cold temperature performance. Under cold temperatures, its performance decreases, it falls down. Okay, and short calendar and life cycle is very less. The number of cycles are less. Okay, These are the disadvantages, but the advantages are it is cheaper. You can easily get the material and it is easy to construct. So lead acid batteries have a lot of history. You know that in 1857 the lead acid batteries was invented, and in 1859 the first rechargeable car with lead acid battery has come out. Okay, and in 1980s over these many lead acid batteries were produced per year. Okay, so you can understand that the manufacturing rate of lead acid batteries is very high. So the long existence of this lead acid batteries is because of its low cost, and it is easily available. The material sulfur, lead oxide can be easily available, and ease of manufacture, and it has favorable mechanical characteristics. You can easily fix it by taking the container. Okay, so these are the features which have made lead acid battery, which has put them in their usage. Okay, now open menti.com. Okay, please do it fast. Menti.com, and please enter this code. Yeah, is my screen visible to everyone? I want everyone to do this poll.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Yeah, you note down this code 1208005. One 2080005. Are you finding the screen now? Did anything open?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the question?
Weight of lead acid battery.
Pardon?
Weight of lead acid battery.
Weight of lead acid battery. Na?
Sir, can you say the code, sir? Again? One second.
Pardon?
Practical specific energy.
Yeah.
Code,
What is
code,
the
sir.
practical specific energy of lead acid battery? Okay. Code. You want me to code? Code 121208005. I'll repeat. 1208005. 1208005. One 2080005. Okay, that means only 20 members are there. I'm repeating the code 1208005. Yeah, I want others to participate. Please finish this polling. Arshad, did you finish the polling?
Yes, sir.
Vijay, did you finish? Pavan, did you finish the polling? Sujit, Ganesh, Vamsi Krishna, did you finish the polling? Sripa, Anusha, did you finish the polling, ma?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next question. I'll go to the
Yes,
next
sir.
question then. Okay. Is the next question activated? Yeah, now the next question is activated. Electrolyte is used for
Yes,
releasing
sir.
electrons, attracting electrons, permit ionic conduction, separate the electrodes. So what is the correct option? Okay, please finish the polling fastly. Next, I'll discuss the next topics. Only 31 are available. That means out of 40, 40 means 39. Out of 39, only 30 are available. That means from the next class, I'll do one thing. I'll take the attendance randomly at any time in the class. Okay, then I think you will be available throughout the class. In the beginning, there were 47, 45 or 46. The total strength was 47. But now suddenly 7 people have disconnected and they are joining whenever they want. Okay, did you finish that? Did you finish?
Yes,
Okay, now
sir.
Yes.
sir.
Okay, now I'll present my screen so you can see the answers. Are the answers visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What is the practical specific energy of a lead acid battery? It is 50. 50 is the correct answer. Yeah, we have already discussed that slide. And then electrolyte is used for permitting ionic conduction. The third option, this is correct. Okay, separate the electrodes is done by the, what does this action? Separation of electrodes is done by the separator. And attracting electrons is done by the positive electrode. Releasing electrons is done by the negative electrode. Okay, right. So this you have to understand. And here 200, you cannot get that much for this. 300 mostly the nickel, you can get 200, 150 and 300 in the case of a lithium ion battery, but you cannot get this 200, 300 or 150 in the case of a lead acid battery. That is the disadvantage. Okay, now let us go back to the presentations, and now I'll go to the operation of cell discharge operation in the case of a lead acid battery. Please listen to this carefully. I'll take 10 minutes to clearly make you understand. So please listen to this very carefully, right? So here in this lead acid battery, you have lead oxide as the positive electrode. Okay, this is positive electrode. Lead oxide is the positive electrode, and negative electrode is the lead. That means metal is taken as negative electrode. Most of the cases, negative electrodes are metals, and positive electrodes are oxides or hydroxide materials. Now in a lead acid battery, this is lead oxide and this is lead. And here during discharge, we connect a resistor, or we connect a light, or we connect a motor here. So that motor resistance is represented by RL. And during discharge, the current flows. I mean, the electrons are released by the lead. They flow they flow through the motor, and they come back to the positive electrode. And internally, the ionization happens here, and H plus ions will be moving this side, and SO4 minus 2, these ions will be moving this side. So internally, ionic transfer happens in the electrode. Okay, and this separator avoids the continuous flow of electrolyte. Okay, so this is what happens in a lead acid battery during discharge. So now if you observe the reactions at the electrode, positive electrode, see at the positive electrode what is happening? Lead oxide is reacting with 4H plus and SO2 minus and with 2 electrons. That means where are these electrons coming from? These electrons are coming from the motor through the external conductor. So these electrons are coming. That means you can understand that during discharge, the positive electrodes collect the electrons. So this positive electrode collects the electrons during discharge, and it reacts with hydrogen ions and sulfate ions, and then it forms PbSO4 and 2H2O. So here you have to understand that what is happening here, PbO2 is changing into PbSO4. This process is called as reduction. Are you understanding what I'm saying? PbO2 slowly disintegrates into PbSO4. Okay, so that means PbO2 is not available now. Slowly this PbO2 will be forming PbSO4 at the positive electrode. So this reaction happens at the positive electrode. So what do you understand here? PbO2 receives electrons. Am I clear to everyone? If you have any doubts, please ask me. Do you want me to repeat this, or is it clear?
Once repeat, sir.
Okay. So at the positive electrode, we have lead oxide. So this lead oxide reacts with electrons. That means it takes the electrons. It is ready to accept the electrons. So that is why you have to know that positive electrode receives the electrons. So by taking the electrons, okay, at the positive electrode, lead oxide with 4H plus and SO4 2 minus, it is forming lead sulfate and water. Is this clear? During discharge, you are getting lead sulfate and water. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So you have to understand that during discharge at positive electrode, electrons are taken or received. And let us see what happens at the negative electrode. So at the negative electrode, you must know that electrons will be relieved. So to the right side, you should have electrons. Let us see that happens or not. Okay, see at the negative electrode, what is happening? Lead is reacting with SO4 2 minus. So negative ions. So it is reacting with aqueous or negative ions, and it is forming lead sulfate. So here oxide is formed. Oxide means here oxidation is happening. Earlier it was lead. but now oxidation is happening. So that means at negative electrode, oxidation happens in a lead acid battery, and at a positive electrode, what happens is reduction happens. So this can be called as an anode, and this can be called as a cathode. Okay. So here at a negative electrode, it releases electrons. Okay. Am I clear? Am I clear to everyone? So during discharge, what happens is this is releasing electrons. So electrons move through the load and they are attracted or received by the positive electrode. And internally, these chemical reactions are happening, which are supporting these electrons in the form of ionization. Here you can say ionization flow is happening. Electrons are not flowing actually, but ionization flow is happening here. So this is how electrons are released. Okay, is this clear? Is this clear or not? So what you have to understand is, by the end of the chemical reaction, the lead will be diluted, and here also this will be diluted. So at both the ends, positive electrode is becoming lead sulfate, and negative electrode is also becoming negative lead sulfate. So the slow process of reduction of this material happens. Okay. So if you combine these two reactions, if you add these two on the left hand side, and if you add these two on the right hand side, that is called as the complete chemical reaction. Okay. So this is the complete chemical reaction, overall cell discharge reaction. What we do is we add all these here. Okay, we put all these on the left hand side, and all these are segregated here. So this is what happens at the end of the discharge. You can observe that lead sulfate and water is released out, and you know that in a battery with the heat, what happens is this water gets evaporated. Okay, slowly this water gets evaporated. So that is why what we do is we fill in distilled water. Am I clear? We fill in distilled water because this water will be evaporating. Okay, right. So now this is discharge cycle. Is everything clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now at charging, what happens? Can you say? At charging, the same reaction will reverse. Okay. This reaction will reverse, and this reaction also will reverse. So you can see that here. So during charging, what happens is I am putting a source here. So now this source pumps in the electrons this side, and here electrons will be released. Okay. Earlier, what happened? Here electrons are received and electrons are released. But here what is happening now? Here electrons are released and here electrons are received. So we are reversing the chemical reaction. Okay. So if you remember those chemical reactions, the same chemical reactions happen here, but in a reverse way. See here what is happening. See here what is happening. PbSO4 plus 2H2O, that is splitting into PbO2 plus this plus electrons. Where are these electrons released? Where is this chemical reaction happening? This chemical reaction is happening here. Earlier what happened? This has released to this. But now what is happening? This has released these material. Ma, are you understanding this?
Yes, sir.
See, if you observe this reaction is nothing but this reaction. Okay. This reaction. But now it is reversed. Now these two materials at the positive electrode are giving out these materials. Okay. I'm using the word materials, but they are not materials. Atoms and electrons. Okay. Right. So here what is happening is PbSO4 plus water. Okay. We are adding some distilled water whenever it is evaporating. Right. So this will contribute for lead oxide. Then it will release ions and then electrons. So these electrons, when released, will move through this and they get into the negative electrode. Now at the negative electrode, if you observe at the negative electrode is now taking the electrons, and now PbSO4 is split into lead and SO4 too. That means you have to understand that during charging operation, here reduction is happening and here oxidation is happening. So this is what you have to understand. So here lead is purely formed from lead sulfate. So so if you observe the previous equation, the same equation, lead sulfate plus 2E, is now reversed to this one. Okay. So you have to understand this. So this is what happens at the negative electrode. So if you remember any one reaction, don't remember both, you'll get confused. You take discharge, you remember this. Okay. And during discharging, what happens? The negative electrode releases the electrons and this is the chemical reaction. PbO2 reacts with electrons and this happens. And at the at the negative electrode, PbS plus SO4 2 minus will form PbSO4 plus 2 electrons released. Okay, this is happening during discharge. During charging, what happens? The same equations must be reversed. So at positive electrode, PbSO4 and water release this, and at negative electrode, PbSO4 minus plus 2, sorry, PbSO4 plus 2e gives this one. So if you remember this, you can understand both cell discharge operation as well as cell charging operation. So now this is nothing but the this is the addition. I mean, this is the complete overall chemical reaction. You have to add all these on the left hand side, and here you have to add all them on the right hand side. Is this clear to all of you? Is this clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in this class, we have understood what are the different batteries that we are using for electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles, and also we have understood what are the components of an electric battery, which is a rechargeable battery, and then we have understood what is lead acid battery and what are the pros and cons, advantage and disadvantage of lead acid battery. The advantage of lead acid battery are its cost and its material and ease of manufacture, and the disadvantage are it has a low specific energy and poor cold temperature performance. So we have understood what are the pros and cons of a lead acid battery, and then we have understood the operation of a lead acid battery, what happens at the positive electrode and what happens at the negative electrode during discharge, and similarly during charge, what happens at the positive electrode and what happens at the negative electrode. This is what we have understood in this class. Okay, any doubts? Okay, now we'll go for the most important part as per you, that is attendance. Okay, right, okay. Yeah, everyone, are you ready? 121 Swaroop? 121 Swaroop?
Present, sir.
Okay, Taufik? Taufik? Harshad Zubair?
Present, sir.
Anusha Reddy?
Present, sir.
1 minute, I'll stop the recording.